Hello and welcome to my video on the ASUS Sabertooth 990FX AM3 Plus motherboard. Now this is the big box it comes in. It has a nice lift up flap describing what it has. So starting at the top we've got the ceramics heatsink cooling. I'm just going to move the camera so you can get a better look. So it's the ceramics heatsink coating tech, which just means it cools a little bit better and it's a bigger heatsink. The thermal radar, real-time heat detection and heat removal, so it knows where to focus its heat removal. Digi Plus VRM, herald the arrival of a new digital powered design era. Okay, well that's what it sounds like. Tough components, military standard. It's stuff that this seems to be appearing on quite a lot of motherboards recently. AI Suite 2, one-stop access to innovative ASUS features. That's the stuff on Windows. The UEFI BIOS, EZ mode. That's right, UEFI. This is the new type of BIOS that lots of other motherboards will be using from the future onwards. I'll show you more into that later. I have a complete USB 3 solution. It has a header on the board and it has some on the back. So ESP, ESD guards, front panel USB 3, power eSATA, Memo K, and 8-channel audio. The Memo K is a nice feature. That's so you can put any RAM in you want and you just press the button and it'll clock it so it works. It's an excellent feature on the motherboard. Why should they all have that? So opening the box, we'll see what we get. Here is the big motherboard. This thing is quite big and quite heavy, for a motherboard at least. And it has a big plastic thing on top of it, protecting it from, well, satellites, I don't know. And it lifts out, and it's quite heavy. You don't understand it. And there it is. But we'll get that in a minute. What you get with it, you get a nice sticker and a CD. The sticker is quite nice. CD is also quite nice, but I didn't use it. This is a transfer. It goes onto your case, which says tough inside. It's not quite a sticker. You pull the back off, then you pull the front off, and it stays on your case. With the rear panel connector, showing you all the ports that it has, but again, we'll get to that a little bit later on. The motherboard manual, loads of things in here, and it's all in English. And some SATA mode notices, some about XP not being fully equipped for SATA. Which is right. Now, what do we have here? We have the Certificate of Reliability, the ASUS 990FX motherboard. There we get the usual warranty stuff, as well as a quick start guide, just telling you exactly how to put all of your stuff in. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably already know this, so you probably don't need this piece of paper. But for those of you who don't, it's still useful. You can still use it. And what other fun stuff do we get? We've got two SATA cables there. Black and white. I've never seen this sort of design before. There's some headers, which I didn't use, but you can use them if you want to. They're just extended for your headers. So it's got the power switch, the lights, and the reset switch on that, and it also has a USB one. So essentially you would plug it into there, and then plug that onto the board instead. It just keeps things tidier. An SLI bridge, nice and flexible. Fits perfectly between your slots. And the last thing we have is two more SATA cables in the black and white design. And now the box is empty. So we'll go back to what we had before. The motherboard. This thing comes in a very not high quality anti-static case. Has a cardboard thing there keeping it from falling out. And here it is. The very heavy ASUS Sabertooth 990FX motherboard. It has a huge heatsink on the south bridge there, as you can see. And it has a huger heatsink on the north bridge, you can see around the processor. It has 4 RAM slots, supporting up to DDR2133 I think, and it has the back panel connectors there. I think it's got 4 PCI Express slots, and we'll get more into that in a minute. So here it is again. So it uses the AM3 Plus CPU. I've got an AM3 in there at the moment, it still fits. And yes, it has 4 PCI Express slots, 1 PCI slot, USB 3 headers, USB 2 headers, everything you'll ever need. And there's so many fan headers on this thing, it's incredible. You can see on the top left of the motherboard there is a button next to the RAM slots. That is your Memo K button, which clocks the RAM ready to be used with your motherboard. There are 4 RAM slots and only 4 RAM clips. It just slots in. There's only 1 RAM clip on the side, as you can see at the top. AM3 Plus board, loads of heat sinks, tons of fan headers, and that's all you'll ever need. So here's a comparison between the AM3 Plus and AM3 sockets. You see the AM3 Plus is black and the AM3 was white, but the AM3 Plus socket holes were a lot bigger than the AM3. That's why there isn't so much conversion. So we're booting up the computer now, so you can see the BIOS. Press Del to enter the UEFI BIOS. Here it is. This, believe it or not, is a BIOS. I've thrown it straight into advanced mode so we can get on with it. And I've set the default to advanced mode. So I will be doing some BIOS changes while I'm here. So it's boot options. Notice the big change. You've got mouse control. This is a whole new thing for a BIOS. Mouse control. It's usually just with keyboards. Now I'm just setting up my boot devices in the order I want them to. So I have my Hitachi first and Seagate last. This the other things plugged in, so I've got my phone plugged into it at the moment charging. And my drives, both Blu-ray, very nice. So this is the full boot screen. The main screen's got not much on it. The AI tweaker is your overclocking. Advanced just shows you the advanced options, believe it or not. So IOMU mode, I'm not sure what that does. ECC mode for your memory, all that fun stuff. There you go. I think I'll change that to unganged then. That's fine. Graphic adapter is the PCI Express, or the PEG, I've heard it called. I'm not sure what IOMMU mode is. And now we have the monitor. This is your temperatures. I've noticed it reads the CPU temperature a little bit high. And look at this. It's got mouse wheel control. I wonder how long it took Windows to get that. You can set it to do what you want, but you have to click it. You can't just click like you would press the enter key. So you do end up using the keyboard anyway, but the mouse control is quite nice. Complete fan control, you can set it whatever you want. Not sure if it 100% listens to you, but that's any BIOS for you. Now you can go into this part, you can save changes and reset. You can discard changes and exit, like before. So I'll reset the computer with my new BIOS settings. And we'll see it boot up. So the first screen you will see is the BIOS screen. It's showing no post screen at the moment, but you can set it to show a post screen, and I'll do later. So that's the SATA 2 300s then that showed up. And this looks like it's booting back into the UEFI. Now it's set to advanced mode, so it didn't have to go through that EZ mode anymore, making it a little easier for BIOS adjustment. Now if you turn off the full screen logo, that lets you display the post screen, and you can choose the amount of time you want to display it for. You have all your voltages and temperatures here, USB, CRP, I'm not even sure what that is, and it says ERP, not CRP. I've got no idea what that is. But this is why you've got the motherboard manual. I've turned the charging support on, so it helps me charge faster. USB 3 uses a lot more current than USB 2, if you didn't know that. And, well, you've got all your BIOS things, but it's a lot more user-friendly. Whether this is a good idea, I'm not 100% sure. Because it will encourage more people to mess around with the BIOSes, and I'm sure some idiot somewhere will put their voltages up to maximum, and then bring it to me, and I'll tell them why, and then they'll blame me, and you know what's going on. If you've ever done computer repair, you know. Now I've booted into the eFlash utility. This is used for updating the BIOS. So it's jumped straight onto my hard drive looking for the BIOS they upgrade. And I don't have one, so I won't do it. What am I doing now? Make sure the time and date is fine. North Bridge, South Bridge. See the full screen logo, we'll turn this off, and we can display the post report for as long as we want. So I'll say 5 seconds. And that's about it for the motherboard. But tell me, do you think this UEFI is a good idea or a bad idea? Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.